Hello everyone, here we are. I'm a little worse for wear. I had taken a antihistamine because my sinuses are out of control this year, and oh my God, it gave me a migraine headache. And you know, when you have a migraine, you feel nauseous and ill, and I'm still a little but I'm okay to read. So let's read. We're going to finish the last two chapters of Kings, and then we're going to go into First Chronicles. So here we go. Now, you remember Jehoiakim now has become the king, and that's because the Pharaoh Necho had killed the one who really was supposed to be the king, or he had taken him to his land and he died there, and he appointed this other kid, Jehoiakim, to be king. So here we go. During Jehoiakim's reign, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, invaded the land. Now, Babylon, we're going to look it up really quick here. I believe it's Iraq. I believe that's where Babylon was. Let's just look it up really quick. Yes, Babylon is in the land of what we know as Iraq. All right, so during Jehoiakim's reign, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, invaded the land, and Jehoiakim became his vassal for 3 years. But then he turned against Nebuchadnezzar and rebelled. Now, Nebuchadnezzar is spelled Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? So after 3 years of being the king's vassal, he rebelled. So here we go. The Lord sent Babylonian, Aramaean, Moabite, and Ammonite raiders against him to destroy Judah, okay, because Jehoiakim was the king of Judah, in accordance with the word of the Lord proclaimed by his servants the prophets. Do you remember how God said he was going to bring disaster to Israel, to Judah? And the one king, Josiah, I believe, was running around doing everything in the book of the covenant, and he got spared, but the rest of the people are not going to be spared because God had just had enough. Okay. Surely these things happened to Judah according to the Lord's command in order to remove them from his presence because of the sins of Manasseh and all he had done, including the shedding of innocent blood. And we can look at abortion today and see that we're still doing that sin. And God is long-suffering, but he's not going to be kind forever over what we do. For he had filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, and the Lord was not willing to forgive. So the Lord can be unwilling to forgive. He's got emotions, okay? As for the other events of Jehoiakim's reign and all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? Jehoiakim rested with his ancestors, and Jehoiachin, I'll say kin, Jehoiachin, Jehoiachin, Jehoiachin. His son succeeded him as king. The king of Egypt did not march out from his own country again, so that would be the Pharaoh, because the king of Babylon had taken all his territory from the Wadi of Egypt to the Euphrates River. So Iraq has beaten Egypt now at this point when it comes to Judah and the Israelites. Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. His mother's name was Nehushta, daughter of Elnathan. She was from Jerusalem. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father had done. At that time, the officers of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, advanced on Jerusalem and laid siege to it. And Nebuchadnezzar himself came up to the city while his officers were besieging it. Jehoiakim, king of Judah, his mother, his attendants, his nobles, and his officials all surrendered to him. In the 8th year of the reign of the king of Babylon, he took Jehoiakim prisoner. As the Lord had declared, Nebuchadnezzar removed the treasures from the temple of the Lord and from the royal palace and cut up the gold articles that Solomon, king of Israel, had made for the temple of the Lord. So this is the end of all that beauty. He carried all Jerusalem into exile. All the officers and fighting men and all the skilled workers and artisans, a total of 10,000. Only the poorest people of the land were left. In the 8th year of the reign of the king of Babylon, I already read that. Nebuchadnezzar took Jehoiakim captive to Babylon. He also took from Jerusalem to Babylon the king's mother, his wives, his officials, and the prominent people of the land. The king of Babylon also deported to Babylon the entire force of 7,000 fighting men, strong and fit for war, and 1,000 skilled workers and artisans. He made Mattaniah, Jehoiakim's uncle, king in his place, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Okay, so he made Mattaniah, Joachim's uncle, king in his place. So he left a small remnant behind, but he took the main folks of Judah into exile. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 11 years. His mother's name was Hamutal, daughter of Jeremiah. She was from Libnah. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, just as Jehoiakim had done. It was because of the Lord's anger that all this happened to Jerusalem and Judah. So it's both of them, all the Israelites, Judah and Jerusalem, they all went, or Israel and Judah, the two that we've been looking at. And in the end, he thrust them from his presence. The Lord thrust them away. Okay? Very sick and tired of watching them do what they do. So in the 9th year of Zedekiah's reign, on the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, marched against Jerusalem with his whole army. He encamped outside the city, built siege works all around it. The city was kept under siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. By the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine in the city had become so severe, because remember, when they build siege stuff around it, they're locking them into the city so they start to starve, okay? We've learned that. I've learned that. The famine in the city had become so severe, there was no food for the people to eat. Then the city wall was broken through, and the whole army fled at night through the gate between the two walls near the king's garden, though the Babylonians were surrounding the city. They fled towards Arabah, but the Babylonian army pursued the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho. All his soldiers were separated from him and scattered, and he was captured. He was taken to the king of Babylon at Riblah, where sentence was pronounced on him. They killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes. Then they put out his eyes, bound him with bronze shackles, and took him to Babylon. On the 7th day of the 5th month, in the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, commander of the imperial guard and official of the king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem. He set fire to the temple of the Lord, the royal palace, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Remember the royal palace, which was something like called the Palace of the Forest of Lebanon or something like that, something beautiful? All gone. All gone. This is the end of all of it. Every important building he burned down. The whole Babylonian army under the commander of the imperial guard broke down the walls around Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan, the commander of the guard, carried into exile the people who remained in the city, along with the rest of the populace and those who had deserted to the king of Babylon. But the commander left behind some of the poorest people of the land to work the vineyards and the fields. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars, the movable stands, and the bronze sea, S-E-A. Remember the big bowl of water that was for washing of feet and hands in the temple, and it used to sit on the 12 bulls, B-U-L-L-S. He broke it up, that were at the temple of the Lord, and they carried the bronze to Babylon. They also took away the pots, shovels, wick trimmers, dishes, and all the bronze articles used in the temple service. The commander of the imperial guard took away the censers and sprinkling bowls, all that were made of pure gold or silver. The bronze from the two pillars, the sea, and the movable stands. Sorry, I have cat hair in my nose right here because I've got Mr. Ollie with me. And the movable stands which Solomon had made for the temple of the Lord was more than could be weighed. Each pillar was 18 cubits high. These were the two beautiful, tall pillars at the doors of the temple. Do you remember them? Each pillar was 18 cubits high. The bronze capital on top of one pillar was 3 cubits high and was decorated with a network and pomegranates of bronze all around. The other pillar with its network was similar. So God's really dismantling Israel. Everything's gone. Judah, Israel, the temple, all the important buildings, all the temple things like the wick trimmers and the things used for the offering meats. It's done. It's over. These non-Jewish people are in there just taking what they want. They also took away, okay, I already said that. The other pillar with its network was similar. The commander of the guard took as prisoners Seraiah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the priest next in rank, and the 3 doorkeepers. Of those still in the city, he took the officer in charge of the fighting men and 5 royal advisors. He also took the secretary, who was chief officer in charge of conscripting the people of the land, and 60 of the conscripts who were found in the city. Nebuzaradan, the commander, took them all and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah. There at Riblah in the land of Hamath, the king had them executed. So Judah went into captivity away from her land. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, to be over the people he'd left behind in Judah. When all the army officers and their men heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah as governor, they came to Gedaliah at Mizpah. Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, Johanan, son of Kareah, not Korea, Seraiah, son of Tanhumeth, the Netophatite, Jazaniah, the son of the Maccatite, and their men. Gedaliah took an oath to reassure them and their men. Do not be afraid of the Babylonian officials, he said. Settle down in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and it will go well with you. In the 7th month, however, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, the son of Elishama, who was of royal blood, came with 10 men and assassinated Gedaliah, and also the men of Judah and the Babylonians who were with him at Mizpah. At this, all the people from the least to the greatest, together with the army officers, fled to Egypt for fear of the Babylonians. In the 37th year of the exile of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, in the year, so this is taking a long time. In the year Awel Marduk became king of Babylon, he released Jehoiakim, king of Judah, from prison. He did this on the 27th day of the 12th month. He spoke kindly to him and gave him a seat of honor higher than those of the other kings who were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiakim put aside his prison clothes and for the rest of his life ate regularly at the king's table. Day by day, the king gave Jehoiakim a regular allowance as long as he lived. Okay, so 1 Chronicles, we're now done with that book. let me make sure I really have the right thing here, okay? Chronicles chapter 1. All right. So in First Chronicles, it's going to start out with historical records from Adam to Abraham, okay? I don't know why, but this is just how the first book of Chronicles starts. To Noah's sons. 1. Adam, Seth, Enosh, Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah. The sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So these are going to be names we understand, that we've heard, we're familiar with. The Japhethites, the son of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Repath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan, Elisha, not Elisha that we know as a prophet. This has an H at the end. Elisha, Tarshish, the Kittites, and the Rodanites. The Hamites, the son of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Sabteka. The sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on earth. Egypt was the father of the Ludites, Anamites, Leabites, Naphatites, Pathrusites, Casluhites, from whom the Philistines came, and Caphtorites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, and Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamathites. The Semites, the sons of Shem, Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram, Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his time the earth was divided. His brother was named Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almadad, Sheleph, Hazametheth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were sons of Joktan. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Ru, Sereg, Nahor, Terah, and Abram, that is Abraham. The sons of Abraham, Isaac and Ishmael, descendants of Hagar. Okay, Hagar was Ishmael's mother. He was the son of the slave woman, remember? These were their descendants. Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael. The sons born to Keturah, Abraham's concubine, Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. The sons of Jokshan, Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Midian, Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. All these were descendants of Keturah, descendants of Sarah. Now she was Abraham's wife, and she had Isaac, okay, son of the promise. Abraham was the father of Isaac, the sons of Isaac, Esau and Israel. Esau's sons, the sons of Esau, Eliphaz, Reuel, Jeush, Jalem, and Korah. Jewish is actually Jeush, Jeush. The sons of Eliphaz, who was Esau's firstborn. The sons of Eliphaz, Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. By Timnah, Amalek. The sons of Reuel, Nahath, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. The people of Seir and Edom, the sons of Seir, Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. The sons of Lotan, Horai and Homam. Timnah was Lotan's sister. The sons of Shobal, Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. The sons of Zibeon, Ea and Anah. The son of Anah, Dishon. The sons of Dishon, Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Karen. The sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zavan, and Achan. The sons of Dishan, Uz and Aran. The rulers of Edom, and this is the last part. These were the kings who reigned in Edom before any Israelite king reigned. Bela, son of Beor, whose city was named Dinhaba. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Zerah from Bozrah, succeeded him as king, and Bozrah is B-O-Z-R-A-H. It's not the Bozrah we know. When Jobab died, Husham from the land of the Temanites succeeded him as king. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, succeeded him as king. His city was named Avith. When Hadad died, Samiah from Masrekah succeeded him as king. When Samiah died, Shaul from Rehoboth on the river succeeded him as king. When Shaul died, Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, succeeded him as king. And when Baal-Hanan died, Hadad succeeded him as king. His city was named Pau, P-A-U, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, daughter of Matred, and the daughter of Mesahab. Hadad also died. The chiefs of Edom were Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Aholabama, Elah, Pinan, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom. Edom is Esau's line, ultimately, okay? So I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll pick it up with 1 Chronicles 2. You have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.